Kantapura by Raja Rao, presented to you by Dr. Vinamrata. Hello, dear students. Today we are going to talk about a novel, a work of fiction titled Kantapura, written by Raja Rao. We all know that Raja Rao was one of the predominant figures of the pre-independence era, and his writings were chiefly regarded as one of the most important kinds, with his technique of talking about spirituality, his technique of talking about metaphysics. So his works, we can say, are deeply rooted in metaphysics, plus talking about the situation of the pre-independence era, where people were subjugated by the British rule, and also the caste, class and creed differences that was prevalent in the Indian society at that time. So Kantapura is one such text which focuses on the South Indian culture of that time. And Rao, we as all know, that is one of the three towering figures of those times: Raja Rao, Mulk Raj Anand, and R.K. Narayan. So today we are going to deal with one of his such novels. Starting with Raja Rao. Raja Rao was born on 8th of November 1908 to 8th of July 2006. He is an Indian writer of English language novels and short stories. He has won the Sahitya Akademi Award in 1964 and the Indian Padma Bhushan in 1969. He was awarded the Neustadt International Prize for Literature in 1988. So we can see that he has a handsome amount of prizes penned to his name. Now, as we have already talked that his works were deeply rooted in metaphysics, his one of the most important work is The Serpent and the Rope, which was published in 1960, and it is his semi-autobiographical novel recounting a search for spiritual truth in Europe and India, establishing Raja Rao as one of the finest Indian prose stylists. Now coming to the text. Kantapura was Rao's first and best known novel, published in 1938, and it deals with the story of a South Indian village named Kantapura. The novel is narrated in the form of a Sthal Puran by an old woman of the village, a Chakka. Dominant castes like Brahmins are privileged to get the best region of the village, while lower castes such as Pariyahas are marginalized. Despite this classist system, the village retains its long cherished tradition of festivals in which all castes interact and the villagers are united. The village is believed to be protected by a local deity named Kenchamma. The main character of the novel is Murthy, a young Brahmin who leaves the city to study, where he becomes familiar with Gandhian philosophy. He begins living in a Gandhian style and wearing homespun khadar and discarded foreign clothes, and speaking out against the caste system prevalent. This causes the village priest to turn against Murthy and excommunicate him. Heartbroken by hearing this, Murthy's mother Narsamma dies. After this, Murthy starts living with an educated widow, Rangamma, who is active in the India's independence movement. Murthy is then invited by Brahmin clerks at the Steffington Coffee Estate to create an awareness of Gandhian teachings among the Pariah coolies. When Murthy arrives, he is beaten by the policeman Bade Khan, but the coolies stand up for Murthy and beat Bade Khan instead. It was an action for which they were thrown out of the estate. Murthy continues his fight against the injustice prevalent in the society and the inequality, and he becomes a staunch ally of Gandhi. Although he is depressed over the violence at the state, he takes responsibility and goes on a 3-day fast and emerges morally elated. A unit of the independence community is then formed in Kantapura, with the office bearers vowing to follow Gandhi's teaching under Murthy's leadership. The British government accuses Murthy of provoking the town people and inflict violence and arrests him. Thus the community is willing to pay his bail. Murthy refuses the money. While Murthy spends the next 3 months in prison, the women of Kantapura take charge, forming a volunteer corps against Rangamma's leadership. Rangamma instills a sense of patriotism among the women by telling them stories of notable women from Indian history. They face police brutality, including assault and rape, when the village is attacked and burned. Upon Murthy's return from the prison, he is greeted by the local town people who are now united regardless of their caste. The novel ends with Murthy and the town looking to the future and planning to continue their fight for independence. So, when we are talking about Kantapura, we can see what are the views of Rao in this novel. First of all, the protagonist is Murthy, and he is in search for a deep seated meaning. He is in the search of the absolute, he is in the search of spirituality, and there is always a question of metaphysical being which keeps on revolving around his life, and he keeps on searching for philosophical meaning through his life. And because of all these, Rao was awarded the prize, the Neustadt Prize, in 1988. When talking about historical context of Kantapura, we have seen that pre-independence era is there. The Britishers are still ruling India, and it is in the early days of the Indian independence movement which ultimately liberated India from the British rule. So there is a whole lot of campaign going on, and Gandhi becomes a dominant figure here in this novel, and he is worshipped as the guru, the spiritual guide, and on his path only you can see that Murthy is some kind of embodiment of Gandhi himself. He follows Gandhi's path, and he keeps fast just like Gandhi and tries to emerge out more spiritually strong. So in some way or the other, the prevalent scenario of that present time, the social differences between the various castes of the society are also described, and how they unite together irrespective of their caste at the end, so that they can ultimately fight the most dominant enemy, that is the British government. And what are the chief factors about Kantapura? So it was written in 1929, and it was first published in 1938. It is one of the genres written in the Sthal Puran form. So what is a Sthal Puran? Sthal means any place, and Puran is the story of that place. So here the story of the place is the story of Kantapura. Kantapura is a fictional place which Raja Rao has created, a kind of fictional place from South Indian village. That place has got its roots, its history, its legendary stories associated, and he shows how the place grows, how the place responds, taking or keeping in line with the tradition and the present changing context of the society. So that is about the Sthal Puran. And although Kantapura is in real small village in southwest India, but here we can say that it's not the same Kantapura that he is talking about, because he has changed many things in the novel. And at the climax, we have already seen that how people gather together to defend themselves, to oppose the colonial system, and to prove their rebellion against the prevalent social norms. So that is all about the story. I'm sure you must have understood it. If yes, then please don't forget to like, share, subscribe and comment. Thank you.